Greetings, family. Welcome to the channel. This is Choices, Tarot and Dreams. And this is a month ahead reading for Gemini. Gemini for the month of July 2026. And this is a simple 3-card reading. It's a past, present and future. And it's a very general reading. And we're just going to keep it short and sweet. Alright, so what can you tell us for Gemini for the month of July 2026? Alright, so you've got, let me just line these up. So you've got Nine of Cups, you've got Temperance, and you've got the Two of Swords. So, Gemini, what's happening for you? So you've got the Nine of Cups. So in the recent past then, so there's a sense of emotional fulfillment. You're satisfied, man. You're fulfilled. That's how you are going into this month. So you're satisfied, man. You're comfortable. You're happy. You know, things are going well for you, it seems. All right? So with that, there's always a warning with these cards, man, that this is always just a temporary situation, always. All right? There is a sense here, I mean, your wishes have been fulfilled. Maybe there's been a period of struggle. Maybe things have been difficult for you to get to where you wanted to be, but then now you are where you wanted to be, and which is great. Right, so your wishes have been fulfilled. You've achieved everything you set out to achieve, and now you are emotionally content. You're satisfied where you are, and things are looking good for you. You're happy, and that's absolutely perfect. That's beautiful. Maybe that gives you a false sense of security. Maybe you've indulged a little bit too much. Maybe things are going well for you, and then after a period of struggle, you've achieved what you wanted to achieve and things are good for you. And then, you know, now you're in a period where you feel like, you know what, I'm just going to indulge for a little while. Or maybe the problem with that is that, you know, if you do sort of have that attitude, there's a danger that you could sort of develop negative sort of behavioral patterns, you know. Maybe that's an issue there. Because for this month, the message is about temperance. If you already have a higher perspective going into this, then maybe that's just your situation now that you're able to, maybe this is coming to fruition for you, that within yourself you have a sense of balance, right? A sense of temperance, a sense of moderation, that you're not, okay, I mean, if it's, maybe that's your position right now, or maybe this is the position that you need to explore. All right, so maybe that has been a period of struggle. Maybe that, you know, after that difficult period that you went through, the struggle and the stress that you went to in order to achieve this state of existence right now, and that you've achieved that, and then once you've achieved it, now you're in a position where you're able to indulge and you splurge, which is fine. But then the message here is, okay, slow the heck down now. You've celebrated, great, you know, happy for you. But temperance is saying, listen, you need to bring things back into balance. Keep things in moderation. Temperance is about moderation. There are layers to this. All right, temperance is a spiritual thing, definitely. All right, at the highest levels, it's at the deepest level of it, it's a spiritual thing. Moderation, you know, equanimity, balance, indifference, detachment, you know, which are necessary things, because always remember that this is always temporary. This is always temporary. And you can't rely on this at all. All right, in any situation. And so balance here is temperance here is telling you to keep things in moderation, to do things in moderation. Yes, there's a time for work, but there's a time for play. You have to take time for yourself to, enjoy yourself and to take time for yourself, but there's a time for work and paying the bills. There's a time for, you have to give time to your family. You have to give time to your friends to develop and nurture and nourish those relationships. Otherwise, things are going to suffer in that department. You have to eat a balanced meal. Balance is just an important part of life. It is perhaps one of the most difficult things to achieve is a balance. That there are some periods of time when you achieve a balance, but then, maintaining the balance, sustaining that, is quite possibly the most difficult thing. And so maybe you don't have balance. Maybe this is necessary for you. This is to prepare you, actually, because in the future you have a difficult decision that's coming up. In the future you've got the Two of Swords. So there's a decision that's coming up for you soon. And maybe with this decision, it's necessary for you to be practical. It's necessary for you to be logical. All right? That maybe your emotional state right now going into this month is something that could blind you. You know what I mean? So it's maybe the message here is to keep this in check. Okay? All of this is temporary. Remember that. And you can't rely on anything here. Any emotional stability that you have here is great. Enjoy it. Make the most of it. You know what I mean? Embrace it. Appreciate it. If this is your situation right now, listen, count your blessings, man. Count your blessings. It's a beautiful thing. All right? Be grateful. Do something to show gratitude to the universe. All right? It's important. It's necessary here. And okay, it's okay to celebrate and indulge. That's absolutely fine. But also remember that balance is more important. Moderation is more important. All right. Maybe you're being called upon this month to develop that quality. It's a virtue, right? Of balance, of temperance, of moderation. Not to let that get to an extreme, but to exercise balance this month, because this then is going to set the foundation for, it's going to help you through the decision that you're going to have to make that's coming up. Let me also bring up the Four, because that's an additional card that we can pull. The Four is the Hierophant. So that's interesting. Let me just bring that up. The Hierophant is deeply spiritual at the deepest levels. Again, it's about spiritual wisdom. It's about spiritual learning. All right. So that suggests that, look, how are you going to approach this? Weigh up your pros and cons of each decision. Right, so each pathway that you have that opens up before you, just look at the pros and cons, and just evaluate. Just weigh up each option and then think carefully. The worst thing I think that you could do is base any decision on your emotions, on your emotional state. Don't make decisions when you're in an emotional state, positive or negative, whatever. Don't be emotional. Be practical and be logical. The Hierophant here is telling you perhaps seek guidance. There's definitely a spiritual aspect here. All right? And if it's not, if you're not on a spiritual level at all, that's absolutely fine. Guidance from somewhere else. All right? Maybe you hit the books. Maybe you are spiritual and you seek guidance from the universe, your spiritual guides or whatever. Or maybe you have a spiritual teacher who can help guide you. Or maybe it's that you hit the books and do some research on whatever it is that you're trying to decide here. You know what I mean? That you hit the search engines and you look for information to help you make your decision, because it's an important decision that's coming up. But the way that you're going to navigate all of this is by achieving a sense of balance this month. So this month is preparatory for you, man. Just make sure you exercise balance. Every morning, here's something helpful for you. Write out the word temperance in block capitals and stick it up on your wall. All right? And look at it every single morning when you get up, and look at it every single night before you go to bed. Contemplate what balance means for you, what temperance means for you. Is it a spiritual thing for you? Is it something else? What does it mean for you, specifically for you? And figure out what that is. And then see about how you can bring that into your life and exercise that. Develop that muscle for yourself, because that's going to set you up for the next part, which is a choice that you're going to have to make. Whether it's one particular difficult choice that you've got coming up, or whether it's, for the future moving forward, maybe whatever decisions that you've got coming up for the rest of your life, that this is going to set you up for that. Maybe you need to seek guidance on how to do that. Maybe you need to seek guidance on how to navigate this particular situation, but don't rely on your emotions here. You know what I mean? Emotional fulfillment is definitely important, but I wouldn't rely on any of that to make decisions. Be practical and logical. And you need to be balanced in order to be able to achieve whatever's coming up for you next. All right? So that's Gemini, man. Listen, love my Geminis, man. Have yourself an absolutely beautiful month. I will catch you in the next one, all right? Take care.